How serious is fatty liver? What does it actually do to the rest of your body? How can you eliminate the fat that is silently accumulating in your liver right now at this very moment? And most importantly, what can you eat and drink starting today to genuinely heal this condition? 1 in 3 people are carrying this silent threat inside them and have absolutely no idea. And what they are even less aware of are the very real dangers that come along with it. And fatty liver is one of the most overlooked and underestimated causes of cirrhosis and liver cancer in the world today. And the truly terrifying part is that you can have it even without feeling a single symptom. And you can feel perfectly fine, go about your normal life, and all the while your liver is being silently destroyed from the inside. Hello everyone. I am Dr. Andrew Seneme, and today I want to have a very important and honest conversation with you about one of the most common and most dangerous conditions affecting people around the world right now. Today I am going to reveal 4 specific ways to know if you have this problem, what the real consequences are for your entire body, and how to detect it early enough to make a genuine difference. Pay very close attention to these 4 signs I am about to share with you, because 3 of them indicate an early stage where you still have time to reverse the damage, and 1 of them indicates a much greater severity that requires immediate attention. I will also walk you through which foods and drinks are actively toxic to your liver right now, and that you should eliminate or reduce as much as possible starting today. But more than that, and this is the part I am most excited to share with you, I am going to show you that it is absolutely possible to get out of this problem completely naturally. The best remedies for fatty liver are not in a pharmacy or in an expensive treatment centre. They are already sitting in your kitchen, in your pantry, available to you. Right now, I will teach you not only which foods will protect and even reverse the damage in your liver, but also exactly how to prepare and use them so that their full medicinal power is not wasted. Because knowing what to eat is one thing, but knowing how to prepare it correctly is what makes all the difference between eating and actually healing. Before we dive in, I want you to understand something very important. Your liver is one of the most hard-working and most vital organs in your entire body. It performs over 500 different functions every single day, and it filters your blood, produces bile to help digest fats, stores energy in the form of glycogen, synthesizes proteins that are essential for blood clotting, and processes and neutralizes virtually every substance that enters your body. From the food you eat to the medications you take to the environmental toxins you breathe in without even knowing it. Your liver is working around the clock every single hour of every single day to keep you alive and healthy. When it starts to fail, everything else starts to fail along with it. So let us talk about what fatty liver actually is. So fatty liver, also called hepatic steatosis, is a condition in which excess fat accumulates inside the cells of the liver. Now, why does this happen? Your liver cells work 24 hours a day to clean and detoxify your blood, and especially to neutralize all the toxins that come from your intestine through a process that happens continuously in the background of your daily life. But sometimes, because of certain things we eat and drink regularly, this organ becomes damaged and overwhelmed and begins to accumulate fat inside its cells. When you have a blood test or ultrasound done, your doctor may have mentioned that you have fatty infiltration in the liver, or that your liver enzymes are elevated. In many countries, more than 30% of the entire adult population has this problem right now. It is extraordinarily common, and unfortunately the vast majority of people only discover it when things have already gotten serious and they are already dealing with significant scarring or even cirrhosis of the liver. This is the tragedy of fatty liver, and this is exactly why I am making this video today, because early knowledge saves lives. Now, there are 2 main types of fatty liver that are worth understanding. The first is alcoholic fatty liver disease, which is caused primarily by excessive alcohol consumption over time. The second, and actually the more common one today, is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, also called NAFLD, which occurs in people who drink little or no alcohol at all. This second type is the one that has been increasing dramatically in recent decades and is closely linked to the modern diet, sedentary lifestyle, obesity, type 2 diabetes, and metabolic syndrome. And here is what makes it so dangerous. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease can progress through several stages, from simple fat accumulation to inflammation to fibrosis to cirrhosis and ultimately to liver cancer. All without causing any obvious symptoms until very late in the process. This is why it is called a silent disease, and this is why understanding the early warning signs is so critically important. Now let us talk about what the actual consequences of this condition are for your body. Because I think many people hear the words fatty liver and think of it as a minor inconvenience or something that does not really matter. Now that could not be further from the truth. In the initial stages, when the problem is not yet serious, you will have fat accumulation in the liver, but the organ may still be functioning relatively normally. But if the problem is not addressed and the damage continues over time, that accumulated fat begins to produce inflammation inside the liver itself. And here is where things get truly dangerous. Once that inflammation begins, the liver starts releasing substances into your bloodstream, specifically inflammatory cytokines and other damaging molecules that travel throughout your entire body and begin inflaming your other organs as well, your heart, your blood vessels and circulation, your kidneys, your brain, your joints, virtually every system in your body. This is why fatty liver is not simply a liver problem, it is a whole body problem. Its most dangerous consequence, and I want you to really hear this, is premature death. Not just liver failure, but heart attacks, strokes, kidney failure, neurological deterioration, and cancer. All driven in part by the chronic systemic inflammation that fatty liver generates. Before reaching that most extreme point, the liver progressively accumulates scar tissue in a process called fibrosis. Over time, as more and more healthy liver cells are replaced by this scar tissue, the organ becomes much harder and increasingly unable to perform its essential functions. This eventually leads to cirrhosis, which is essentially the end stage of this scarring process, where the liver has become so damaged and hardened that it simply cannot do what it needs to do to keep you alive. And alongside cirrhosis, the risk of developing primary liver cancer, called hepatocellular carcinoma, increases dramatically. And this is why what I am sharing with you today matters so much. And it was previously believed that fat in the liver was only a metabolic curiosity that occurred in people who were obese or significantly overweight. And today, through decades of research, we know with certainty that it is not a benign condition, that it is not something you can simply ignore and hope goes away, and that it absolutely must be addressed. Now, the good news, and there is genuinely good news here, is that in its earlier stages, this condition is reversible. And the tools you need to reverse it are more accessible than you might think. So what are the main warning signs? How do you detect this in time? Let me walk you through the 4 ways to identify fatty liver, understanding that the first 3 indicate earlier stages where meaningful intervention is still very possible, while the 4th indicates more advanced disease. The first sign is what we call the asymptomatic form, and this is the earliest stage of all. At this point, the problem can still be completely reversed. Here is what makes this stage so tricky. The liver has an enormous capacity to regenerate and compensate for damage, which is one of its most remarkable qualities, but it is also the reason why fatty liver can remain completely invisible for so long. In the asymptomatic stage, the person may feel absolutely nothing unusual. No pain, no fatigue, nothing that would suggest anything is wrong. And this is why fatty liver is classified alongside hypertension as a silent disease, something you may have been living with for months or even years without any awareness. However, even when you feel nothing, there are ways to detect it. If you have an abdominal ultrasound performed, a doctor can notice that your liver appears enlarged or has a characteristically bright appearance in the image, both of which are indicators of fat accumulation. It may also happen that you had a routine blood test done for an entirely different reason, and your results came back showing elevated liver enzymes, specifically ALT and AST, which are markers of liver cell stress and damage. If either of these things has happened to you, please do not panic. You are actually in a fortunate position because you have been given an early warning, and there is still a tremendous amount that can be done at this stage. Now, this is especially true if you begin incorporating the foods, drinks, and habits I'm going to describe. The second form of manifestation involves non-specific symptoms, and this is still an early stage. Imagine what it feels like to carry extra weight in your abdomen area. Now imagine that your liver, which sits beneath your right rib cage, is significantly larger and heavier than normal due to fat accumulation. This physical enlargement can cause a dull pain or pressure beneath the right ribs, or a persistent feeling of heaviness or fullness in that area of your abdomen, particularly after eating. However, because these symptoms are so non-specific, meaning they could be caused by so many different things, people at this stage almost universally attribute them to something else entirely. You might think it is gastritis or a gallbladder problem, or simply that a particular meal disagreed with you. It is also very common at this stage to experience recurring nausea, occasional vomiting, and abdominal bloating that never fully resolves no matter what you eat or what remedies you try. Now, many people dismiss this kind of persistent bloating as a normal part of their digestive experience, but it is not, and it deserves attention. My message to anyone experiencing these kinds of vague, persistent digestive symptoms is this. If you also have risk factors for fatty liver, such as being overweight or obese, having a sedentary lifestyle, eating a diet high in processed foods and sugars, having type 2 diabetes or insulin resistance, or having a family history of liver disease, please get a thorough checkup that specifically includes an evaluation of your liver. Do not wait for symptoms to become severe, because by then the situation will be significantly harder to address. The third sign appears when the disease has progressed further and active inflammation is present inside the liver, a stage called non-alcoholic steatohepatitis or NASH. At this point you will still have that pain or discomfort below the right ribs, but there is another symptom that people consistently overlook and almost never connect to their liver, pain in the right shoulder or upper back, near the shoulder blade, or sometimes extending toward the right side of the neck, almost exactly like the kind of discomfort you would feel from a muscle. Contracture or tension. This referred pain occurs because the inflamed liver is pressing against the diaphragm and irritating the phrenic nerve, which also supplies sensation to those areas of the shoulder and neck. Most people who experience this go to a physiotherapist or take muscle relaxants without ever realizing what is actually causing it. But the deeper and more important problem at this stage is that the inflamed liver is now actively releasing inflammatory molecules into your bloodstream. And those molecules are affecting your entire body in ways that produce a very distinctive and often debilitating set of symptoms. The most prominent of these is a profound, persistent fatigue that is unlike normal tiredness. This is not the kind of fatigue that goes away after a good night of sleep, and this is the kind where you wake up in the morning already feeling exhausted, where you feel as though you just completed an intense physical workout even when you have done nothing strenuous, where no amount of rest seems to restore your energy. You may also experience diffuse, non-specific pain in your muscles and joints that moves around and does not have an obvious cause. Your ability to concentrate and think clearly may be compromised. And here is something that is extremely important to understand. At this stage, it may become very difficult or even impossible for you to lose weight, no matter how hard you try. The systemic inflammation generated by the damaged liver disrupts your body's metabolic processes at a fundamental level, including the function of your thyroid gland. And this is why I always recommend that patients who are struggling with unexplained weight gain or weight loss resistance, along with these other symptoms, get both a comprehensive liver panel and a thorough thyroid evaluation done at the same time. And these two systems are deeply interconnected, and dysfunction in one frequently affects the other. And all of this chronic inflammation, if not addressed, significantly increases your long-term risk of cardiovascular disease, heart attacks, memory problems, cognitive decline, and dementia. The effects of untreated fatty liver extend far beyond your abdomen. The fourth sign involves the complications of advanced liver disease, and this is where the symptoms become undeniably serious and frightening. At this stage, the liver has accumulated so much scar tissue that its function is severely compromised. Your urine begins to take on a noticeably darker colour, often described as tea-coloured or cola-coloured, because the liver is no longer processing bilirubin properly. Your legs and feet begin to swell with fluid retention because the liver is no longer producing sufficient albumin, the protein that keeps fluid in your blood vessels. Your skin and the whites of your eyes may develop a yellowish tone, a condition called jaundice, which occurs when bilirubin builds up in the bloodstream. You may experience intense itching all over your body, including the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet, caused by bile salts accumulating under the skin. Red spots called spider angiomas may appear on the skin, and you may find that you bruise very easily or bleed more than normal from small cuts because the liver is no longer producing adequate clotting factors. At this stage, you are very likely dealing with significant cirrhosis. And as the condition progresses even further, you will notice your abdomen beginning to swell dramatically due to the accumulation of fluid in the abdominal cavity, a condition called ascites, where the belly becomes visibly distended in a way that can be profoundly uncomfortable and distressing. I'm sharing all of this not to frighten you, but to motivate you, because everything I have just described in that fourth stage is what happens when the warning signs of the first three stages are ignored or missed, and the first three stages are where you have real power to change the outcome. That is why now I'm going to give you the practical, actionable information that can actually make a difference. Let us start with what you absolutely need to remove from your life or dramatically reduce, because no amount of healing foods will overcome a diet that is continuously damaging your liver. The first and most important category to address is drinks with fructose. Fructose is the natural sugar found in fruits and plants. When you eat a whole piece of fruit, the fiber, the vitamins, the antioxidants, and the physical structure of the fruit all work together to moderate how quickly the fructose is absorbed and how much of it reaches your liver at one time. And this is why eating whole fruit, especially those with edible skin in reasonable amounts, is generally safe and even beneficial. But when you extract only the juice from fruit and remove all of that fiber and structure, what you are left with is essentially a concentrated dose of pure fructose that floods your liver all at once. And here is something that many people do not know. Unlike glucose, which can be used by virtually every cell in your body, fructose can only be processed by your liver. So when you drink a large glass of fruit juice, you are sending a massive fructose load directly to your liver, forcing it to work overtime to process all of it. Much of this fructose ends up being converted directly into fat inside the liver cells, which is one of the primary mechanisms driving fatty liver disease in the modern world. And this problem is dramatically worse with commercially produced juices, the kind that come in boxes, cartons, and plastic bottles, because these products contain added sugars, often including high fructose corn syrup on top of the fructose that was already naturally present in the fruit. The food and beverage industry has spent enormous amounts of money on advertising to convince us that these products are healthy, natural, and even necessary for our well-being. We have grown up watching advertisements showing happy, energetic, healthy people drinking these juices for breakfast every morning. And this messaging is not just misleading, it is actively harmful. My practical advice for patients who love fruit juice is this. If you want to consume fruit, blend the whole fruit, including the pulp and fibre, rather than straining or juicing it. Consume it as an occasional treat rather than a daily habit, and work on replacing your habitual juice consumption with genuinely healthful drinks like water infused with fresh lemon, water with rosemary or hibiscus flower tea, which actually has documented benefits for liver health and cardiovascular health. And the second major category to address is ultra-processed foods and fast food. There is a simple principle worth internalizing here. Real food does not come in a package with a long list of ingredients. The more processed a food product is, the further it has moved from its natural state and the worse it is for your liver. The process of industrial food processing typically involves removing the fibers, vitamins, minerals, and beneficial active compounds that were present in the original ingredients and then replacing them with sugar, refined salt, industrial seed oils, preservatives, artificial colorings, flavor enhancers, and various other chemical additives designed to make the product taste appealing, look attractive, stay on a shelf for months or years without spoiling, and most importantly, create a degree of a neurological reward and that drives repeated consumption. This last point is not accidental. The food industry employs teams of scientists specifically tasked with finding the precise combinations of sugar, fat, salt, and texture that activate the reward centers of the human brain most effectively, essentially engineering addictiveness into their products. Examples of ultra-processed foods to be aware of include packaged cookies and snack cakes, commercially produced breakfast cereals which are marketed aggressively as healthy but are often loaded with sugar, industrial seed oils like soybean oil and corn oil which are highly inflammatory, soft drinks and sodas of all varieties, energy drinks and processed meats including salami, bologna, sausages, hot dogs, and similar products, all of which contain preservatives like nitrates and nitrites that have been linked to liver damage and cancer. The third substance to address is alcohol. You have probably heard the claim that a glass of red wine per day is good for your heart because of its antioxidant content, particularly a compound called resveratrol. There is some truth to the observation that moderate wine drinkers tend to have better cardiovascular outcomes than heavy drinkers, but the science here is much more nuanced than the popular message suggests. The protective effects that have been observed are most likely attributable to the polyphenols and other bioactive compounds in the grapes themselves, not to the alcohol. Meanwhile, so the alcohol component is an established hepatotoxin, meaning it directly damages liver cells. The liver processes alcohol as its top priority because alcohol is recognized as a toxin, which means that while it is processing alcohol, all of its other metabolic functions are deprioritized. Over time, even what most people would consider moderate alcohol consumption accumulates damage in liver tissue. So the critical point is this. We genuinely do not know what the safe threshold for alcohol consumption is for any given individual, because this varies enormously based on genetics, body composition, overall metabolic health, gut microbiome composition, and many other factors. And the current scientific consensus is that there is no level of alcohol consumption that can be universally recommended as safe. So the most honest advice I can give you is to minimize alcohol consumption as much as you practically can, and if you have already been diagnosed with fatty liver or any other liver. condition, I would strongly encourage eliminating it entirely. Now, with the harmful substances addressed, let us move into the genuinely exciting part of this conversation, which is the practical food-based approach to healing your liver. What you need to accomplish this healing is to consistently consume foods that are rich in the specific nutrients capable of reducing inflammation within the liver, reversing fibrosis and scarring, supporting the liver's own regenerative processes, and protecting liver cells from further damage. The key nutrient categories here include antioxidants, particularly vitamins C and E, anti-inflammatory compounds, sulfur-containing compounds, polyphenols, and healthy fats. But as I mentioned earlier, knowing what to consume is only half the equation. The other half is knowing how to prepare these foods correctly so that their medicinal properties are preserved and made bioavailable. And these are the details that most sources leave out, and they make an enormous difference. The first and one of the most powerful categories of liver healing foods is cruciferous vegetables. And this family includes broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, cabbage, kale, bok choy, mustard greens, arugula, and related plants. These vegetables are extraordinarily rich in a compound called glucoraphanin, which your body converts into sulforaphane, one of the most potent anti-inflammatory and anti-carcinogenic compounds found in the plant kingdom. Sulforaphane has been shown in numerous scientific studies to directly reduce inflammation in liver tissue, to support the liver's detoxification enzyme systems, to protect liver cells from oxidative damage, and to help prevent and even reverse fibrosis. However, and this is critically important, sulforaphane is not actually present in the vegetable itself. It is produced through an enzymatic reaction that occurs when the vegetable cells are damaged, meaning when you chew, cut, or crush them. The enzyme responsible for this conversion is called myrosinase, and it is heat sensitive, meaning that cooking destroys it, and this is why the ideal way to consume cruciferous vegetables for maximum liver benefit is raw. If eating them raw is not something you enjoy, the next best approach is to steam them very lightly, no more than 3 to 5 minutes, which preserves more of the enzyme activity than other cooking methods. And here is a remarkable secret that very few people know. If you add a small amount of mustard seed powder to cooked cruciferous vegetables while they are on your plate, the myrosinase enzyme present in the mustard can substitute for the enzyme that was destroyed during cooking, activating the sulforaphane conversion even in the already cooked vegetables. This is a genuinely simple and inexpensive way to dramatically increase the liver healing benefit you get from these foods, even when you prefer them cooked. The second category of healing foods is fruits with edible skin, and fruits rich in specific protective compounds. Fruits with edible skin, such as apples, pears, peaches, and plums, are excellent choices because the skin contains high concentrations of polyphenols, antioxidants, and fiber that all benefit liver health. When you eat these fruits whole, the fiber slows the absorption of the natural sugars they contain, meaning your liver does not receive the fructose overload that comes from juicing. There is one fruit in particular that deserves special attention, and that is the pomegranate. The pomegranate is one of the most antioxidant-dense foods that has ever been scientifically studied, and its benefits for liver health specifically are remarkable. The flesh and seeds of the pomegranate are, of course, edible and beneficial, but interestingly, the peel, which is not edible raw because of its extreme bitterness and toughness, actually contains an even higher concentration of protective polyphenols than the interior. You can dry pomegranate peel, which is very easy to do at home by simply leaving pieces of the peel out in a warm, dry place for several days, and then either brew it as a tea that you drink once or twice daily, or grind it into a fine powder and use it as a condiment sprinkled onto foods. Among citrus fruits, grapefruit deserves particular mention because it has been specifically studied in the context of liver health. and has shown the ability to reduce liver inflammation, support fat metabolism within the liver, and contribute to the reversal of early fibrosis. The active compounds responsible for these effects are naringenin and naringin, two flavonoids found in particularly high concentrations in grapefruit. Eating one whole grapefruit daily is a simple and practical way to take advantage of these benefits, keeping in mind that the whole fruit is always preferable to the extracted juice. The third healing food is garlic, and it is one of the most extensively studied natural medicines in the world. Garlic contains a compound called allicin, which is produced when garlic is crushed or chopped through a similar enzymatic conversion process to the sulforaphane in cruciferous vegetables. Allicin has powerful anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, antimicrobial and liver protective properties. Studies have shown that regular raw garlic consumption can reduce liver inflammation, decrease fat accumulation in liver cells, reduce oxidative stress in the liver, and in animal studies has demonstrated a measurable protective effect against the development of liver cancer. The key word here is raw, because allicin is also heat sensitive. To get the maximum medicinal benefit, you should consume 1 to 2 cloves of fresh garlic daily, crushed or finely chopped, and allowed to sit for a few minutes after crushing to allow the allicin to fully form. You can eat this with a small glass of water first thing in the morning, or add freshly crushed raw garlic to your meals after they have been plated and have cooled slightly. If consuming it raw is truly not manageable for you, heating it very briefly, no more than 3 minutes, at a temperature no higher than 60 degrees Celsius, will preserve at least some of its beneficial compounds, though raw is always preferable. The fourth healing food is turmeric, the golden spice that has been used in traditional medicine for thousands of years and is now the subject of thousands of scientific research papers. The active compound in turmeric responsible for most of its benefits is curcumin, which has been extensively studied for its anti-inflammatory, antioxidant and anti-fibrotic effects in the liver specifically. Studies have shown that curcumin can directly reduce liver inflammation, inhibit the activation of the cells responsible for producing scar tissue in the liver, and support the regeneration of healthy liver cells. However, curcumin in its natural form is very poorly absorbed by the human digestive system. If you simply add turmeric powder to your food or drink it in water, you will absorb only a tiny fraction of the curcumin it contains. There are two evidence-based ways to dramatically increase curcumin absorption. So the first is to consume it together with a small amount of black pepper. Black pepper contains a compound called piperine, which inhibits the rapid metabolism of curcumin and increases its bioavailability by up to 2000%. Just a small pinch of black pepper added to your turmeric is sufficient. The second method is to consume turmeric together with a healthy fat. Because curcumin is fat soluble, meaning it is absorbed much more efficiently in the presence of dietary fat. Combining turmeric with extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, chia seeds or flaxseed all significantly enhance its absorption and therefore its medicinal effectiveness. I recommend making turmeric a daily habit in your meals, in drinks, in soups, wherever you can incorporate it consistently. The fifth item is coffee, which is technically a drink rather than a food, but which has one of the most impressive bodies of scientific evidence supporting its liver protective effects of almost any substance we know of. Multiple large epidemiological studies have found that people who drink 1 to 3 cups of coffee per day have significantly lower rates of fatty liver disease, liver fibrosis, cirrhosis, and primary liver cancer compared to non-coffee drinkers. And the mechanism involves several of the bioactive compounds in coffee, including chlorogenic acids and other antioxidants which reduce oxidative stress in liver cells, and compounds that appear to inhibit the activation of hepatic stellate cells, which are the cells responsible for producing the fibrotic scar tissue in the liver. Remarkably, this protective effect appears to be present with both caffeinated and decaffeinated coffee, suggesting that it is not the caffeine itself but the other bioactive compounds that are responsible. The one non-negotiable requirement is that the coffee be consumed without added sugar. Sugar completely undermines the liver protective effects you are trying to achieve. Beyond these 5 primary recommendations, there are several other foods that deserve a place in your daily diet for liver health. Extra virgin olive oil, 1 to 2 tablespoons per day used as your primary cooking fat or as a dressing, provides oleocanthal and other polyphenols with potent anti-inflammatory effects, as well as healthy monounsaturated fats that support healthy liver fat metabolism. Raw beets consumed as a salad or as a fresh juice of about 1 glass per day contain betaine and other compounds that specifically support methylation processes in the liver and have been shown to reduce fat accumulation and oxidative stress in liver tissue. Red berries of all varieties, including blueberries, strawberries, raspberries and blackberries, are extraordinarily rich in anthocyanins and other polyphenols that reduce liver inflammation and oxidative damage. Avocado provides glutathione precursors and healthy fats that directly support liver cell function. And nuts, particularly walnuts, pistachios and almonds, provide vitamin E, omega-3 fatty acids and other compounds that contribute to liver health and the reduction of hepatic inflammation. I want to leave you with this challenge. Commit to implementing everything I have shared in this video, eliminating the toxic foods and drinks, and consistently incorporating the healing ones for a period of 4 to 6 weeks. Then repeat whatever tests or imaging your doctor previously used to evaluate your liver, whether that is a blood test, checking your liver enzymes, or an abdominal ultrasound. The results that people achieve through this kind of consistent food-based intervention are genuinely remarkable, and I have seen it transform patients' health outcomes in ways that surpass what many medications can accomplish, particularly in the earlier stages of the disease. Your liver wants to heal. It is built for regeneration. Give it the right raw materials and remove the obstacles, and it will do the rest. I hope this information has been truly valuable to you today. Please subscribe to our channel so that you never miss content like this, and please share this video with someone in your life who needs to hear it. That kind of sharing is what allows us to keep creating this content and keep helping people around the world take control of their health. I am Dr. Andrew Seneme, and I will see you in the next video. Sonnet 4.6, Claude is AI and can make mistakes. Please double check responses.